All right. What is up? Welcome to the Morning Wood presented by Prop Finder. Man, last night was good. It was really good. I forgot to say though that this stream is going to be on the Prop Finder channel. So hopefully everybody makes it over here. If you're from my channel, subscribe here, get the notifications on, you'll be all set. You know what I mean? A lot of guys have the notifications on at my channel, so if we're on Prop Finder channel, they're not going to know. It is what it is, guys. It's classic mix-up. We'll be fine. Anyways, it was a great night, like really good night. Everybody and their brother was on Bijan Robinson, and he definitely came through. Like, definitely. Think he had 170 plus rushing yards. It was on Prop Finder, though. It was very easy to see. Some people in the comments were saying that they didn't understand what I was looking at. And it was pretty simple, really. Most of Bijan's runs, like over half, were out of outside zone, like outside zone runs. 5.7 yards a carry. If you've ever seen him run the football, you know that he's very good with that, very fast. So, no, not much, Jack, but they have NHL on Prop Finder. But anyways, it was pretty easy to see. And then Buffalo's defense just not great against the run. It was across the board, not great. So that was a pretty easy read. We will go over that at the end of this show. Not the end, well, like in literally 5 minutes, because we only have one baseball game tonight. But I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We'll look at the Thursday night game and we'll see if we can find something early. But if you want to know like what I'm looking at and how like I'm using Prop Finder, it'll be definitely something to watch. This is probably the easiest app in the world to use, just because it gives you literally all the information that you're going to need, but in one screen. If you are anything like me, you're trying to research a bet on Sunday, right? During NFL football, you can't have 1,000 tabs open because you're getting this piece of data from this site, this piece of data from that site, this piece of data from that site. If you're like me, you're a few beers deep and you're trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do at 4 o'clock. You don't really have time to be having 1,000 tabs open. That's why Prop Finder is just better than all of them. I don't know how they figured out this UI, but they've managed to get literally every single meaningful piece of data onto one screen, and it's sortable. It's ridiculous. Like, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like I'm canceling. I'm not going to name the apps, but I'm canceling my Pitch Mix app. I'm canceling my Ballpark app. I'm canceling. I'm never going to go to Baseball Savant again. Like, literally everything that I need was here. And it was like $15 a month with a promo code $10 a month. You got to be kidding me. You know what I mean? Like, why would, like, how on earth would you not have this over all these other apps that cost literally like 5 times as much? Hey, what's up, Juan? Sorry about that. Dude, I think it's WeGrader. I hope I said that right. WeGrader. It's, dude, I use it on mobile. Don't sweat, Juan. Just subscribe to the channel, get the notifications on, and that will definitely help you. But anyways, we'll go through. I'm going to treat these streams now every day as a tutorial. So you're going to see literally the same spiel kind of in the beginning every day. Just bear with me. You know what I mean? Because we got new guys popping in, and I hate when I post a screenshot and people are like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's like, ah, shit, dude. Like, I'll help you. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't know. I want everybody in on it. I don't think people even understand how good this app is. Like, I'm dead serious when I say that. Like, there's with sports betting now, you got to have good apps. You got to have good ways of, like, you know, keeping yourself on the right track. You need originator apps and you need sportsbook like apps like Juice Reel. You know what I'm saying? That kind. Those are two different kinds of apps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Juan? You've seen those, though? They're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. You're like, well, shit, dude. Like, I got your back. So you can watch these. We can play them back. But anyways, you need apps. Like, if we're going to be originators, we need apps that are going to help us with the stats that actually matter and not the noise stuff. You know, because if you watch last night's Falcons game, leading up to it, I was part of the problem too. I was just joking, but everybody was, oh, the Bills aren't going to lose 2 games in a row. Like, that was that was like what people were saying, why they were betting it. Because they're not going to lose 2 in a row. They're going to be ready. It's like, I think they're going to come out and give an honest effort, like a real effort. But at the same time, Bijan is going to be able to run the ball. So the Falcons, if they can control the ball, they control the clock, they control the game. Well, guess what? That's what they did, and they actually won the game. Thing is, though, I don't know that I would have found that without Prop Finder. I don't know that I would have gotten, or if I did find it, it would have taken me hours to do it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been in minutes. So that's why we use originator apps like Prop Finder. So this is going to cut down your time, everything. You're going to be completely insulated from all the noise. Okay, first thing you're going to do, see this little icon up here? The little person? I don't know. I wish there was a way I could put my picture there. But anyways, it says, you know, your email address, premium member, manage subscription, settings. So go to settings, go to manage sportsbook. Bang. These are all the books that they have available. So you can see lines for every book. Select the ones that you have an account at. That way, just select those. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay? So now you're a dangerous human being. You're locked and loaded. Okay? So now those are all set. So now you see this little icon right here? This will show you the best odds for a home run. Right there. That's where the best odds are. Notice how Profit X is all over the map. All over the place. If you don't have Profit X, you have to get it. Like, it's probably available in your state, even if you don't have, even if you're a prison state. If you don't have sports betting, they'll still let you do it. But it's an exchange prediction market. Well, you are going to see your BetMGMs and all that stuff, but it's just important to know that that's where that comes from. All the books that you have selected in that other screen, that it gets pulled from there, and that's important for later. So just hook that up now. Get all the books that you have right there. And if you have books in your state that you don't have accounts at, get them. You need every single out you could possibly have, and then just spread out your bankroll across those outs. The setup for sports betting, it's like building a house on quicksand if you don't do that, if your foundation's not right. Like, the house ain't going to get built. You know what I'm trying to say? What's up, Shalir? So you make sure you have all these places. That way, when you see 730 for Yelich, let's say we like Yelich in a minute. Well, if he's 500 at FanDuel, and you could have got 730 somewhere else, dude, you're an idiot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're stupid. You know what I mean? Like I would feel like a moron, like later on, seeing that everybody else had 730, and I'm sitting there hanging around like a sucker with, 500. You're going to get beat like that. I guarantee you. I 100% guarantee you're not going to be profitable. And it isn't because you didn't know what you were doing. You had the guy to hit a home run. You know how hard that is? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard as hell to pick a guy to hit a home run. So why the hell are you only going to take 500 when you could have taken 730 for it? And that's what I'm saying. Like, those are the little hidden things that people just don't get. But anyways, that's not really the purpose of this. Let's go last 15 EV. See this right here? This tells you what guys are doing in their last 15. Last 15 at-bats, exit velocity. So guys that are hitting the ball. What's up, Mark? So guys that are hitting the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want those. So Yelich It's going against Yamamoto, which on the pitching side, I had a guy getting all over me because Trey Savage last night had a super low ISO on all his pitches. But when you look at the pitches that he's thrown, he had thrown literally like not even 100. That's not a big enough sample size. Yamamoto has a big enough sample size. That's 520 is the number of fastballs he's thrown. 520, just fastballs this season. So anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. But you want to have a pitcher with a good sample size. Guess what? 172 innings pitched, 173 innings pitched. That's a good sample size. He's given up 14 home runs in those 17 innings. That is not good for us if we're picking home runs. But we can look at the splits. Left-handed batter, right-handed batter. 10 home runs to lefties, 10 to righties, 4 to lefties. 1.05 home runs per 9 to right-handed batters. So righties kind of get them. In the regular season, which is one reason why I don't really do too many home runs in the postseason, we're targeting pitchers that have given up like 2+ per 9 per side of the plate. You know what I mean? But we got to be a little more selective here. We're going to pay attention to the bullpen numbers, which I'll show you in a second. But we're probably looking for a righty. That doesn't mean a lefty can't homer off them. 4 guys have this season. So there is that. I'm just saying hard hit rate to righties is 47%. That's bright green because that's a very big number for hard hit. 24% in the air. The ball has to be in the air to go over the fence, right? Like it just does. So you want a higher number than 24.8, but that's not terrible. Look what it is to lefties. They just don't hit the ball very hard against them. Barrel rate is 8%. We want 10% barrel rate, but 8%, yeah, that's whatever. You know, like that. He can get hit over the fence. All right, so let's look for righties. It says it right here next to him. Left-handed batter, left-handed batter, left-handed batter, switch hitter, right-handed batter. So Jackson Chourio. He's the first righty we come to. He's 91 miles an hour, which is not bad. Hang on, let me see what this is over here. Last 15 barrel, 20%. Hard hit. I mean, everything's there. See this last 15 at bat hard hit? So all these numbers, Chourio is actually really good there. I wish I could. Oh, whoops, wrong year. So now we just go back over. So now we'll click on Chourio. We want home run selected there. You can select any of the markets you want. I like it, Sultan. What's up, dude? Over on the Prop Finder channel. Get subscribed if you're not subscribed. Do it now. Just do it. Hits, total bases, home runs, singles, doubles, triples, batting strikeouts, RBIs. Everything's going to give you a barred chart right here. Everything. I want home runs. That's what we're looking for. All right. So that's on that side. You can go last 20. You can go last 10, last 5. Dude, it's insane. Head to head. Oh, that's against the Dodgers, period. Yeah. 2025, all of them. 2024. I mean, it's ridiculous what you can see here. These guys are the most detailed people I've ever seen in my life. The whatchamacallit, the guys who own Prop Finder and make the UI, it's ridiculous how just detailed the person is. You can say something to the guy while you're talking to him, and he'll start doing it right then. He'll be like, he can't stop. He has to make it better. So we're in good hands. If you have anything that you would like to see or anything that you would like to tweak, let me know. Jackson Chourio versus Yamamoto. He's seen him one time. See, hits at bats. He's only seen 3 pitches. This sample size means 0. Okay, it's 3 pitches that total. We have no idea, like, you know what I'm saying, like what's going on. This on the season, Yamamoto, as you can see, he just does not give up a lot, man. It's all red. They're saying leave him alone. On guys that have only thrown like 15 innings, I don't care about this. This means nothing. Yeah, maybe one. If it's green, it means something. But like I said, I hear you, Sultan. But whenever the guy's thrown 173 innings and he's just not good, this is bad for us. Like the longer this guy goes, the fewer home runs are going to be hit. I can tell you that right now. Unless he's hurt or something, which we don't even know. All right. Jackson Chourio so far hitting its right-handed batters. You see that? They have a glossary right here if you don't know what any of this stuff means. On the season, he's hit 21 home runs, 193 ISO. All this is fine. All I care about for this on this screen right here is versus LA Dodgers bullpen. 5 for 28, no home runs. We have no idea who's coming out of the bullpen tonight, but we do know that he's never homered off any of them. So there is that. He hits most of his home runs against righties, but that's 412 at-bats. He's only had 137 at-bats against lefties. So if you multiply that by roughly 4, he would hit way more home runs against lefties. So there is that. Maybe we should have a home run per plate appearance or home run per at-bat in this column, just so you can kind of know. Because I like knowing the raw 7. That's great and all, but that was only 137 at-bats. He had 412 at-bats, and he only had 14 home runs against righties. So that's a case against him in this situation, like so far. But now here's the real kicker. See this? That's matchup. Now we want pitches. So on the season, this breaks it down. Yamamoto, since Chourio's a right-handed batter, it's going to show you right-handed stats. So against right-handers, he's thrown 474 fastballs. Only 3 of those ended up in the seats. Splitters, he's thrown 298. 4 of those have ended up in the seats. Okay, 171 ISO. So that pitch is the one that we need our guy to hit. Guess what? Chourio has seen 46 of them. 2 of them went home with a fan. 412 ISO. He hits 471 against that pitch. So the only thing is, I don't think we're getting a good enough price at 530 to take him to hit a home run off a pitch that he's only going to see 20% of the time. Can he? Yeah, he definitely can. But that's the only thing signaling home run from Chourio, which I don't know that. I mean, I don't know if there's really we're going to need more than that. But the other thing I look at, it does not stop here, right? Jackson Chourio, last 15 against this specific pitch mix. See this? Right-handed pitcher, four-seam fastball, splitter, sinker, curveball. If you go back up here, splitter, sinker, curveball, four-seam fastball. That's the pitch mix he's going to see tonight. So what you want to do is go down there, what it looked like. The last time we saw a four-seamer from a righty, he hit it 98 miles an hour, 26-degree launch angle, 355 feet. So he is kind of smoking the ball a little bit. Like those bright greens are pretty good. 102, 103, 98. So he is hitting. Does he get Yamamoto? I don't know for 520. I don't know that I'm playing it for 520, but at the same time, you know, there is I mean, anybody can hit a home run, but maybe it is Chourio. If you have any questions as to what you just saw, let me know. Like, just put it in the chat, because we can't go through every single guy like that, because that's going to take literally all day. But that's basically how you're looking. If you want, yes, Cam, it will have NBA. It has, see up at the very top here, you can go to NHL, college football, NFL, MLB. We'll go to NFL in just a second. This app, like I said, it has everything in one place. So, like I said, you can go through a lineup. It usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to get through an entire lineup. I can, after a while, you start to be able to think, all right, this might be a strikeout lineup. This might not. You know what I'm trying to say? It's pretty simple. But again, it's because of the way the data is laid out and what data is actually displayed. That's the part that you need. So I will check out for Peralta, which start again same way. Oh, I forgot. The wind is blowing out to right field. Thanks, Cam. I'll be honest with you, man. This is the app. I'm telling you right now, as a guy who I bet every single day of my life. And when I saw this app for the first time, I was like, okay, like this is a game changer because, like I said, I can break down a game in literally minutes just with this app. It's 15 a month, Cam. With promo code SLOP, it's $10 a month. They have the sports that'll keep us active all year because MLB goes into NFL, which goes into NBA, which goes back into MLB. So if you get a yearly subscription, 30% off of it, you're literally looking at less than $10 a month for something that's going to carry you through the whole year. I don't see how you don't do that. Like, I mean, if you're really betting sports, like you've spent barely any money on your research. Do you know what I'm saying? Pro SLOP, fadeaway Tim, SLOP. There's a link right in the description, and it has I think it takes you and it auto populates SLOP. So it's just, yeah, Cam. Honestly, it's funny you say that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's so funny you say that because I can't follow people because of that. I get pissed when it's, you know what I'm trying to say? What's up, Jay Money? I get pissed whenever I tell someone's playing and it's like, oh, it sucked. I could have broken down this game in 10 minutes. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's with an app like this, and it costs literally, when you think about it, 10 a month, that is nothing. That's literally nothing. And you can go through and break down your own game. And I'll show you NFL in just a second. Let me just go through this one. But you can break down your own game in seconds with the data that actually matters too. Sometimes you'll get guys like just sending out, oh, well, at home or on the road. It's like, bro, what is this, 1985, dude? Like that, we don't bet based on whether they're at home or on the road. I mean, that's a variable, but the idea that like we're putting everything into that is it's ridiculous. It's outdated. These stats are advanced, and I don't know, they work. So real quick, Peralta, just how we did Yamamoto. The first thing, how many innings are we looking at here? Does this matter? 176.2. Yes, that matters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%, Cam. I want to be able to blame me. I don't want to be able to blame someone else. And I want to be able to blame, like, look at it and say, all right, yeah, that was a shitty angle. Okay, yeah, we're going right now, J Money. Peralta, 176. Home runs, 21. That's not terrible. But it's not that good either from a pitch standpoint. Like, from a pitcher standpoint, that's not that good. I mean, 21 home runs is a lot, but I want 21 for like every 100 innings. So 13 home runs to righties, 8 to lefties, 1.31 per 9. That's the number you want to look at. All right. Like, this is great and all, but like that tells you it's an efficiency thing. So that tells you, all right, 1.3. All right, that's okay. Barrels 11%. You barrel a ball, it's probably it could go over the fence. That's how you're gonna get home runs. 37% hard hit, not quite as bad as Yamamoto, but 37.9%. 28% fly ball. Get the ball in the air, it goes over the fence. So do we have any righties? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously, Shohei's in play at plus 265 on Profit X. Okay, like I like Shohei over 250. You give me plus 250 on Shohei, I'm in. But let's look at Will Smith first, because since we sorted this row, we're getting the 96 mile an hour EV in his last 15. So this guy is hitting the dog shit out of the ball. All right, that's what you want. Hit that. All right, so against Freddie, we make sure we got home runs unlocked, because we want to see how many recently. 1 out of 10. I mean, that's not crazy good, but that's not hard. At least he's hit one. All right. Freddie's 4 for 13, 82 pitches. Kind of a good enough sample size. I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get. so it kind of matters. 308 average, 231 ISO. He's got a dong off him. So one of those 4 hits went over the fence. Here comes Freddie. This all red again, 176 innings. So this does matter. ISO to righties, though, 157. He can be had. Against the Milwaukee bullpen, he's batting 300, 533 slugging, 233 ISO. Those are good numbers. 2 home runs. Freddie, so far, before we've seen pitches, is kind of in play. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am leaning forward in my chair, being like, all right, well, maybe this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Will Smith, 96 miles an hour, his last 15 against this pitch mix. Okay. 20% barrel rate. That is very good. Now I'm like really leaning forward, thinking, what book am I going to bet this dude to put one on Mars? You know what I'm saying? All right. So now we go down. Let's see the logs. You know what I'm saying? 94, 106, 85, 105, 101. Actually, none of that matters. Sorry about that. Look at the date. 909 against Marquez. So only ones that actually matter are these two because they were just yesterday. Because all those, that was from 9-9. We don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I'm kind of like, oh, damn it, Will. You kind of tricked me. Because 9-9, that was like over a month ago. We don't give a shit about that. We want recently, like how's this dude seeing the ball? But we can still look. We don't have to give up. Now, yeah, I want 20% barrel too, J Money. So now, bam, 4-seam fastball. He's going to throw that 51% of the time. See that? That's pretty big because now we know he gives up home runs, like not a lot. I mean, 10 out of 793 is not really many. But he throws it 51% of the time. We know we're going to see some fastballs because that's important because Will, 236, 7 home runs against fastballs. Yeah, no, he was hurt, Sylvester. That's why he wasn't play. But like it was a month ago, so we don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? I would say Will Smith is in play for a base. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know about stealing a base. You could look that up, go through the metrics. But yeah, so then now change up. They have it to where it's just the pitches that this guy throws right here, which is huge. Change up, he's not really going to see much. Yeah, Sylvester, it does. What we don't really care that he wasn't hurt and that's why he didn't produce, or he was hurt, that's why he didn't produce. We just care that it was a month ago. So like really, like we don't, you know what I'm trying to say? It doesn't really matter for us. Like whether the guy was hurt or not doesn't really matter. Actually, it kind of does in the sense of this, like how's he looked since he got back? Hit a ball 94 miles an hour, hit another one 94 miles an hour. That ball went 330 feet. So, all right, you know what I mean? Like he's not hurt anymore. Oh, smart. Cam, awesome, dude. You're not going to regret it. We're going to go to NFL in 2 seconds because I think we're out of here. But I would say Will Smith is definitely somebody that you could put on your home run list based on this. I mean, at the price, it's up to you, plus 571, but he's somebody that could be on there. I would do this. If it's the stream that we normally do, bang, we just hit heart. Now we gave him a heart. Now you're thinking, Slop, what's that? Well, guess what? What's up, Adam? Batman. So now you can go up there. Yeah, Ro, he could get an RBI. Now you would hit this heart. Guess what? He's right there. It tells you the price, and it tells you what the play is, and it tells you what place to play it. All right. So if we had, let's say, Teoscar, we're like, you know what? We just think that he's going to get a hit. We would hit heart. All right. And now we go over here, hit heart again, bang. So now it tells you what it is. It keeps all your stuff there. It saves it for you. It's there all day long. So now you have what you found in your research. So let's say it's an NFL Sunday and you got 4 o'clock stuff, but you haven't bet it yet. You can just go back here later on and be like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I can take him still. All right. So let's go NFL. I don't love the home runs. I gotta be honest with you. I don't love them at all. I think me and McBets are probably going to go hits on our Keeping It 1,000 show today on the Slop Rules channel. That's probably the only way. I don't know if we're going to get to 1,000 with that, but there's no chance I'm betting into home runs. I think Will Smith hitting the ball hard makes a lot of sense. Teoscar possibly. Shohei, Mookie Bet. I don't know. I'll go through the rest of that right before that show and have good data for it. All right, so everybody's talking about NFL. I don't go to the research page. Oh, my bad. Before one last thing. They do have pitcher weak spots. I'm not the biggest pitcher weak spot guy, but it tells you by batter who gives these pitchers the most trouble. I don't think Yamamoto even has a weak spot. No, he does not. Batting fourth, though. So whoever's hitting fourth today is this guy's weak spots, Freddie's weak spot. The first hitter, too, got 5 home runs off him. Leadoff hitter, 6 home runs for the guy in the cleanup spot. I'm not the biggest believer in that, but I do think it has some relevance. All right. Oh, shit, Mark, is the like button even working? Yeah, people said it was broken today. Like they had a sign, they had cones around it saying it wasn't working, but I don't know. Maybe it is, dude. Wow. Yeah, so if you do want this, use promo code SLOP and you will get 30% off. Makes sense. There's a link right in the description. Yeah, I was going to check him later on, Sultan. All right, so now we go to football. The only game we'll look at real quick. No, you can use it on your phone. Luster. What's up, THC? All right, so here's where I found the Bijan play last night. That was the easiest money ever. I think we're going to find this. Okay, so look, check this out. You're going to see a sea of green. This is worth attacking. You're just going to figure out where you're going to attack it. That's the Bengals defense. All right. TDs, they have it broken down. Running backs, they've given up 9 touchdowns to running backs, 5 to receivers, 4 to tight ends, 1 to QBs. All right. Though these are all basic stats, but it gives you a jumping off point, a place to dive right in. All right. Receiving touchdowns, running backs. All right. So receiving touchdowns, 12 all day, 4 to running backs, 4 to receivers, 4 to tight ends. So a tight end touchdown against the Bengals defense is in play. So a Freiermuth or even a Darnell Washington would be something I would think about. Jonnu Smith. The only problem with the Steelers is who's even going to be in the game down there. So you definitely got to find that out. Okay. Yeah, you got to Luster, you got to make the screen bigger at times, but I'm telling you, grab a laptop, it takes it. It's not in the App Store. It's a site. You just go to Prop Finder on your phone. They are working on mobile, but I mean, it takes time, I guess. Yep. Oh, use promo code SLOP. It's like $10. But yeah, save it on your homepage, and that's how I would do it. Anyways, let's go. All right, so this game, you kind of want to know in the back of your head, where do I see this going? If a team can run on another team, a lot of times they can kind of keep the game close, and you don't have to think about receiving props yet, because once a team gets behind, they have to throw. Do you know what I'm saying? It changes how they're going to play the game. So if you got a team that can run, presumably they'll be able to do it all night because they'll be able to hang on to the ball. They'll be able to score. They'll be able to move it, blah, blah, blah. Like, do you understand football? against, let's check this out. So you go to the running back first. The first thing you want to do is, can they run? So Jaylen Warren, bam. All right, so right here, you got opponent, and you have all the stats you just saw. Well, a lot of the stats, sorry. Then you go to coverage. You can see the coverage. It's not updated till Wednesday, but this is a big one right here. Zone and man, and I'll get to that in a second. And then run types. All right, so run types. So for Jaylen Warren, there are different kind of run types for every running back. There's inside zone, there's outside zone, power runs, duo blocking concepts where two people go at somebody. So they have it broken down. This guy's running into, they're not running him power. All right, he's not getting a lot of power runs. Power runs are, I believe, defined in between the tackles, I think. I'm not sure the exact definition, but anyways, he is doing well with them, but whatever. We see that he's inside zone 30% of the time, outside zone 27%, and duo is 34%. Here's the thing, though. He's only averaging 3.8 yards a carry. That's not very good. 2.3 on outside zones and 3.1 on duo blocks. Well, outside zone, the Bengals do not stop that at all. So 27% of his runs are going to be against the defense that literally stops it, that literally gives up 5.5 yards a carry. Duo blocks, they give up 4.5 yards a carry. That's another 34%. So we are kind of interested in his rushing yards just to see. It's 50.5, which feels kind of like a lot. Look at the bar graph, though, because and then also, too, you want to look at rush attempts. So the bar graph tells you he's getting damn near 58 the last 3 times. So we see why the line's what it is. Rush attempts. He had 11 rush attempts, 18 rush attempts against New England, and didn't get 47. New England's a good run defense, so you got to kind of know that already. Against Seattle, they are a good run defense. They're actually a really good run defense. He carried the ball 14 times. He only carried it 11 times against Cleveland, another very good run defense. So this dude's coming off of 3 games in a row against good run defenses. The Jets are not very good defending the run. The problem is you kind of got to know who your run defenses are. Easiest way to do it is the oldest stat in the book for figuring this stuff out is yards per carry, opponent yards per carry. The Jets aren't that bad, though. They're 18th in yards per carry. So this guy has kind of run a gauntlet. And then Baltimore, that was last year, so that doesn't matter. So all these 11, 14, 18, and 11. That's how many carries he had in the game. So we want a guy that's going to carry the football because obviously you can't get rushing yards without carrying the football. Here's the thing, though. Game script matters. If you're winning the game the whole time, bang. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Prop Finder. Yeah, we're going to need Flacco numbers. So you know what I'm saying? That'll be done literally like in minutes. Watch. This guy's unbelievable. So anyways, you got to know kind of game script too. Like if they're winning, they're going to be running the ball more. If they're losing, they're probably not going to be running as much. But this dude's been carrying the ball enough for me to get me interested. I got to think on a Thursday night that we're gonna show up to watch a game that is going to be one where the Steelers probably want to just stick the ball in a running back's chest and have him go. So 50+ yards rushing against this has to be, I don't know where they rank in yards per carry, but it can't be very good. It has to be bottom half. So this guy has been obviously, here, watch this, has been against Cleveland, very good. New England, very good. Seattle, very good. And the Jets, not really that good. I would think Warren is in line for more rushing yards. Like he's set up pretty good. And then here's my favorite thing to look at when it comes to running backs. You got to find out if they can run first. Without that, do you know what I'm saying? Without that, you don't know anything about the game. Can they run? Josh Jacobs went 93 yards on these dudes. Jahmyr Gibbs on the 5th went for 54. Montgomery went for 65. That's not great that Gibbs didn't, but we'd want to know the score of that game because this is against Cincinnati. Okay. RJ Harvey, 58, Dobbins, 101. Jordan Mason went for a $116. I mean, guys have had success. You know, a lot of green there. And then ETN, 71 yards, 42 for Tootin. Guys have had success. I mean, that's a fact. Not so much week one. Who knows what was going on then? But the Bengals now, like I said, they have Joe Flacco playing quarterback. These guys cannot possibly believe that they're going to win. They cannot be in a good spot mentally. They lost Burrow. They were a Super Bowl contender in their heads. I'm not saying they actually were going to go, but like they in their heads, they're like, oh yeah, the Super Bowl's the ceiling. Now there's no chance they believe that. No chance. So I'm not saying they're not going to show up, but it's not the same. Jaylen Warren rushing yards is a strong maybe at this point. Rushing, receiving, you're looking at 79. ETN got 89 against them. Look here on the bottom. Like this is kind of a barometer because now we kind of know these teams. These teams kind of have a personality, right? So you kind of know who they are. Jacobs, $150. David Montgomery, 71. Harvey, 98. J.K. Dobbins, 105. You see the 98 there? His line was 36.5. Jordan Mason, 94.5, got 116. I would think Warren, good call, J Money, is Sultan, maybe. I think Jaylen Warren is definitely in play for rushing and receiving yards. Definitely. It's like Rain Man. All right, so now check it out. So we don't have Flacco yet, but one guy I wanted to check out. Like I said, if you have any questions, just hit the chat. I'm telling you right now, I'll get to it. But that's how you're going to figure out if they can run on them or not. You want to know that first. And I think the answer is yes. I think Pittsburgh will be able to run on them. That means that it kind of puts a damper on the pass game because these guys are going to be priced like, oh, they should roll Cincinnati. It's like, yeah, well, if they do, your receivers are screwed for your team unless they're the guys that are doing the rolling. But we could look at DK Metcalf. What I want to find out is, so anytime touchdowns, this guy appears to be a touchdown machine. So he's in play for that. You can look at that. This doesn't really, I don't know, this doesn't really apply. But if you have a team that you know won't be able to run the ball, well, they're an NFL team. They're going to be able to throw it. All right. So now what you look at is zone man splits. Again, this is not the end all be all, but we do know that this guy gets targeted way more in zone than man. Okay. Way more. 80% of his yards have come in zone, against zone. I think he did have like an 80-yard touchdown this season, so be careful with that. But the fact remains, he's been targeted 17 times. If you were to make those numbers the same, so he would only have 10 targets. So they do target him more versus zone. So his receptions are in play if you think the team's going to be behind, but the yardage is definitely in play. So you would just go to receiving yards. What's the number? 65.5. That's a pretty aggressive line. Purple just means that is a very high number. Like, it's either man or zone, right? And well, I mean, for the most part, 69% of the time they're in zone. So that's a high number. It just denotes that that's a high number. All right. So you kind of want to look at zone splits and see, hey, who is their zone guy? Because these coaches definitely look at guys as a zone beater, a man beater. You kind of want to know who the corner is on the other side too. Like, just know who your trying to think. One of the best corners in the league, McDuffie, plays for the Chiefs. You knew he was going to lock up Sun God the other night. So JMO is in play. Does that make sense? Like, so there is that kind of stuff too. It's not impossible to know, but whatever. All right, I'll keep going. The last guy we'll go through is Chase. So if we think the Steelers can run the ball and can move it and hang on to it, then we know that the Bengals are probably going to get behind and have to throw the ball. So you have two options. You can, for now, we'll look at Browning. This is just for a placeholder. We're looking for Flacco. So now two options. You want to go to coverage because we think the quarterback's going to have to throw the ball while his passing yards are in play, if that's the case. So what you would do is you'd probably wait on Flacco in this game and take him live. All right. We got to look at his numbers, but against zone, 60% of the time, 34% man. So it is skewed to zone, but like you're going to have to beat man too. This one right here, completion percentage, 65%. That goes up from 58% on Browning. So let's say this was Flacco. We'd be interested. We think maybe completions because you know they will be throwing. Also, too, you know who their receivers are. I want to go Chase. I'm not going to go our touchdown. I'm going to look for yards. Again, we know 61% zone. Yeah, no, J Money, that could be it. It depends on what the game plan was going in, though. We don't know that. Does that make sense? We don't know that that was not by design specific to that game, if that makes sense. If you can get your hands on that kind of information, though, you are what's called God. Because now you know what they're going to come out and do right away. But 70 yards for Chase feels doable in a game where they get behind. All right, you're going to see a lot of zone. Well, guess what? He gets targeted a lot more in zone. Like, so when they're reading zone, they're looking to figure out a way to get him the ball. You can because you can just sit him down. All right. Receptions, everything is better in zone. Everything for him. Obviously, I mean, but that is proportionally. That's not. Does that make sense? Like, that's not the difference between 34 and 8. That's proportionally between how many routes there were and how many targets there were. It goes up by 32%. I think Chase is a pretty good play just by looking at just that alone, knowing that I think the Steelers will be able to move the ball and score on the Bengals, thus putting pressure on them to actually have to retaliate. Okay. Yeah, no, J Money, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying we don't know if that wasn't just like the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the do you know what I'm saying? You don't know if he was being directed to. We have no idea what they're being directed to do. But yeah. It might have nothing. All right. So the best way I can say is it might have nothing to do with Brown. It might have everything to do with the idea that he liked something better down the field on those plays where Brown was open. Does that make sense? Like he's gonna force feed a one. Like this is the second game on a team. He's the quarterback. Guess who if you're the quarterback, guess who you want to keep happy? The receiver one. You know what I'm saying? Jamar, he's your best receiver. So you probably want to force feed him the ball. Does that make sense? So that's why we kind of want to look at Chase and then find out coverage-wise, does this even make sense? But I'm not saying we're taking Chase Brown. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm more saying, or not taking Chase Brown. I'm saying I'm looking at Jamar Chase first before anything. So now wide receivers. Justin Jefferson hung a $126 on 10 receptions. So if you want to force feed, you can. Jerry Jeudy was targeted 13 times. Do you know what I'm saying? Like targeted 13 times. Yeah, so I guess Cam, that's a good. I guess we're process of elimination right now. You know what I'm trying to say? We want to eliminate our suspects. Like we want to be able to eliminate Chase, but so far we can't. How are we going to eliminate Chase? Like Dude, they tried to target Judy 13 times against this team. They targeted Justin Jefferson 11 times. You think this dude doesn't go? I would say Shalir, I would say it helps for both. Like you can kind of see, okay, well, look, like for the Falcons, it helped a lot. Because if they can move the ball on the ground, they can play. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There we go. Yep, Black Excellence. That's good, man. Yep. Look what Jackson Smith and Jigba. So teams have been saying, hey, we will force feed our one. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 10 targets, 8 receptions, turning that into 103 yards. Yep. Yep. J Money, I agree. I think Chase is going to be your guy in this. If you can't, and we got to this literally by Garrett Wilson, 95 yards. Jamar Chase is probably getting 70 yards. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, Black Excellence is probably one of the sharpest dudes in here. So Jamar Chase is getting 70 yards. You know what I mean? So now we've had a couple games where we didn't do it. Minnesota, Denver, but Denver has Surtain. We have to look to make sure he played that game, but it looks like he did play. But right now against Detroit and against Green Bay, two pretty good teams. I mean, he had 94 and 110 yards. I don't think Pittsburgh can handle him. And I got here again, zone numbers. They play more zone than man. I think that Pittsburgh is going to be able to move the ball and score on the Bengals. So now they will have to put the ball in the air. Jamar Chase seems by far the most likely guy to get targeted. He's at 70 yards for his main line, which feels pretty low. 7 receptions. Doesn't feel like that crazy. What's the number? At -110, that feels right. But that's how I got there by using this. That's how I got there. All right, guys, if you have any questions, always hit me on Twitter. I will answer your DM. Might be a couple days sometimes just because I don't see them. But, dude, this is easy, man. Like, you can do this yourself. It's very simple. But it just, like I said, using this. Thanks, Cam. If you guys, like I said, have any questions, reach out to me on Twitter. I do this stream Monday through Friday. Does that make sense? So we will do this tomorrow, but it'll be on my channel. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's on this channel. Monday, Wednesday, Friday on my channel at Slop Rules. So get subscribed here, get the notifications on, get subscribed at my channel, get the notifications on, and you'll be all set. You'll never have to wonder what channel we're on just because you'll get the notification from YouTube. But I'll go through as many games as possible, but we're not going to go through and just pick for specific plays every day. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, and maybe you can help me too with what you look at. But at the end of the day, we'll be able to use Prop Finder in the most efficient way possible, which is the whole point of this show, okay? Whole point of the show is to make sure we're using this as good as possible. So Will Smith is probably in play for at least a hit. Jamar Chase is definitely in play for yards. Jaylen Warren, rushing plus receiving. So if we want to jump early on those, we can. But that's it. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you tomorrow. Later, guys.